Welcome to English Power Podcast. I'm Zara.
And I'm Alex. Glad to be here. This is our very first episode together, right?
Yes, I'm really excited. Before we jump in, maybe we should introduce ourselves a bit.
Good idea. Okay, so I'm Alex. I'm an English language coach, originally from Canada. I've been teaching English for over 10 years now, and I love helping learners become confident speakers. What about you, Zara?
I'm Zara, a former English learner turned teacher. I grew up in a non-English speaking country, so I totally understand the struggle of trying to learn and remember new vocabulary. That's why today's topic is so important.
Right. Today we're talking about something every English learner faces at some point. Why do I forget English words so fast?
Oh yes, that question. I think I've heard it 1,000 times from students. You learn a word, use it once or twice, and then poof, it's gone, like it never existed.
Ha ha, exactly. And it can feel really frustrating. But the good news is it's not your fault. Forgetting is a natural part of how the brain works.
Yes. And I think we should explain that a little more. Alex, what's going on in the brain when we learn a new word?
So, when you first learn a new word, your brain puts it in short-term memory, like a temporary space. It's like when you hear someone's name at a party, but 5 minutes later you've already forgotten it. Why? Because you didn't repeat it or connect it to anything.
That's such a great example. And English learners often just read or hear the word once and think, okay, I know this now. But the brain needs more than that.
Exactly. Repetition is key. If you don't see or use that word again, your brain says, I guess this word isn't important, and it lets it go. That's why people feel like words just disappear.
Right. And I think another reason is that sometimes people learn words in isolation. You know, like a random list of vocabulary, without any story or real-life connection.
That's true. If you just memorize a list like apple, table, understand, mountain, it doesn't really mean anything. But if I say, yesterday I climbed a mountain and ate an apple at the top, now those words are in context. Your brain loves context.
Yes. And when there's emotion or visual memory involved, like imagining sitting on a mountain with an apple, it sticks better.
Totally. Let's take an example. Zara, do you remember a word you used to forget all the time when you were learning English?
Oh, yes. I used to forget the word available. I'd read it, hear it, but then gone. It just wouldn't stay in my brain. But one day my teacher kept using it in every sentence. Is this book available? Are you available tomorrow? This room is not available. And suddenly, it clicked.
Nice. Repetition in different situations. That's powerful.
Exactly. It's like the word became part of my world. That's when it stayed with me.
That's something we want to encourage all learners to do. Bring the word into your world. Use it in your life. Say it out loud. Write it in your diary. Use it in a message to your friend. Make it real.
And also, don't feel bad if you forget. It's not failure, it's part of the process. Even native speakers forget words.
Yes, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress. And in the next part, we'll talk more about how to make new words stick in your memory using simple but effective techniques.
Stay with us. It only gets better from here. Part 2.
So, Zara, in part 1, we talked about why people forget English words so fast. Now let's dive into the fun part, how to remember them better. What actually works?
Let's start with something simple but powerful, spaced repetition.
Yes, spaced repetition is like magic. You don't just repeat the word 100 times in one day, you review it over time. First after 1 hour, then a few hours later, then the next day, and so on.
Exactly. I used to keep a small notebook for this. Whenever I learned a new word, I'd write it down. Then, the next day, I'd look at it again. I didn't try to memorize the whole list. Just a few words every day, over and over.
And that's how we build long-term memory. Your brain needs to see that a word keeps showing up. Then it thinks, okay, I guess this one is important. Let's keep it.
Another great method is using the word in a sentence, your own sentence, not just copying an example.
Right. Because when you create your own sentence, your brain connects the word to your life. So instead of he is reliable, you say, my best friend is reliable. She always shows up on time. Now the word reliable means something to you.
That's what makes it stick. And if you say the sentence out loud, it's even better. Speaking helps your brain remember faster than just reading silently.
Speaking of which, let's not forget about shadowing. One of my favorite techniques.
Oh, yes, I love that one. For those who don't know, shadowing means you listen to native English speakers and try to repeat exactly what they say right after them, like an echo.
Yes, it trains your ear, your mouth, and your brain, all at the same time. Plus, you learn how words are used naturally in real speech.
And when you shadow full phrases, you're not just remembering one word, you're remembering how it lives inside a sentence.
That's a great way to say it. Words live in phrases, not alone.
Another technique that helped me a lot was visual association, like connecting words to pictures or funny images in your mind.
Can you give an example?
Sure. So I used to forget the word bitter. So I imagined myself biting into a lemon and making a horrible face. Super dramatic. That image stayed with me. And now I never forget what bitter means.
Haha, that's brilliant. The weirder the image, the stronger the memory.
Exactly. The brain loves weird, colorful, emotional things.
Let's also mention something really important. Don't memorize too many words at once.
Yes, that's a big one. So many learners try to learn 50 new words in a day. And what happens? They forget 48 of them the next morning.
It's better to learn 5 words well than 50 words badly.
Take your time. Language learning is not a race, it's a journey.
In the next part, we're going to talk about one of the biggest mistakes learners make when trying to remember vocabulary and how to fix it fast.
You won't want to miss it. Part 3. So, Alex, in the last part, we shared some great tips for remembering vocabulary. But now, let's talk about the mistakes people make. Because sometimes learners don't even realize what's holding them back.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is this: learning words without meaning.
Yes, like memorizing English words without really knowing how or when to use them. It's like collecting tools, but you don't know what each one is for.
Exactly. Imagine learning the word hesitate, but you don't understand that it means to pause before doing something because you're unsure. If you just memorize the word and its translation, it won't stay in your head.
That's why people forget those words quickly, because the brain says, I don't know when I'd ever use this, and it deletes it.
Here's a good fix: learn words and situations. For example, instead of just learning hesitate, think, I always hesitate before speaking English in public.
Perfect example. You're not just learning a word, you're learning a moment in your life where that word is useful.
Another mistake is not reviewing words before they disappear from your memory. People wait too long. They think, oh, I know this, but a week later, gone.
Right. It's better to review early, before you forget. That's why spaced repetition works so well. You're catching the word just in time.
Also, let's talk about another mistake: learning only from one source, like only using a vocabulary app or only reading books.
Oh, yes. When you only learn from one style, like a flashcard app, it gets boring for your brain. It's like eating the same food every day. You lose interest.
Exactly. Try different sources: podcasts, YouTube, real conversations, movies. Seeing a word in multiple places helps your brain say, okay, this word is everywhere. I need to remember it.
And variety helps your motivation too. When learning is fun, you remember more.
Let's also mention this: some people don't speak enough. They learn new words but never use them in conversation.
Yes, speaking is like glue for your memory. If you don't use the word, it floats away. But if you say it, even just once in a sentence, it sticks.
That's why I always tell my students, even if your sentence isn't perfect, Use the new word. Get comfortable with it.
That builds confidence. And when you feel confident, your brain holds onto the word.
Coming up next, we'll talk about what to do right after you learn a new word, how to lock it in so it doesn't disappear the next day.
Trust me, this next part can completely change how you remember English vocabulary. Part 4. All right, Alex. This is where it gets really practical. What should learners do immediately after learning a new word so it actually sticks?
Great question. The first thing is, don't just move on. Too many people see a new word, say, okay, got it, and never touch it again.
Exactly. But the brain needs a signal that this word matters. One way to do that is to use the word in at least 3 different ways, as soon as possible.
Yes, for example, let's say you learn the word confused. Right after, you can do 3 things. 1. Say a sentence out loud. I felt confused during the math lesson. 2. Write a message to yourself. Don't be confused. Ask questions. 3. Imagine a scene. You're in class, your teacher explains something, and you think, I'm confused.
Those small actions help the word move from short-term to long-term memory. You're not just reading it, you're interacting with it.
Another simple method, teach it to someone else. Even if it's just talking to yourself.
Haha, I've done that so many times. I'd pretend I'm teaching my younger cousin. Hey, do you know what confused means? It's when you don't understand something clearly.
That's brilliant. Teaching forces you to explain, not just repeat. And when you explain something, you remember it more deeply.
Here's another technique. Make it personal. Instead of saying, the weather is unpredictable, say, in my city, the weather is unpredictable. It's sunny in the morning, raining by noon.
Exactly. You connect the word to your world, and that makes it stick. The brain pays more attention to personal stories than to generic examples.
And if you want to go a step further, use your phone. Create a quick voice note using the word in a sentence. Listen to it later during the day.
Love that. Or change your phone wallpaper to include a few new words you're learning. Tiny reminders throughout the day really help.
Let's not forget review at night. Before bed, just look at the 3 or 5 words you learned that day. It takes 2 minutes, but it tells your brain, don't forget these.
So true. Sleep helps with memory. That quick review helps the brain process what you learned during the day.
These are small habits, but when you do them consistently, the results are amazing.
And in the next part, we'll share how to build a daily routine to make sure English words don't just visit your memory, they actually stay there.
You're going to love this next section. Simple, realistic, and perfect for busy learners. Part 5. Now it's time to talk about something every learner needs but often forgets: a daily routine. Without it, even the best techniques can fail.
Exactly. You can use all the smart methods in the world, but if you don't repeat them daily, the words will still fade away.
Let's build a simple, realistic daily routine for remembering new English words. Something that doesn't take hours.
Right. Let's keep it under 20 minutes total. So here's a good start. Morning, 5 minutes. Look at 3 to 5 new words you want to learn. Say them out loud. Make a quick sentence with each. No stress, just say whatever comes to mind.
Yes, keep it light. Maybe while brushing your teeth or drinking tea. The goal is just to wake up your brain with those words.
Then during the afternoon, another 5 minutes, try to use at least one of those words. Maybe in a conversation, a text, or even just thinking to yourself.
Exactly. I used to whisper the words to myself while walking or doing dishes. It's weird, but it works.
Haha, I do that too. And then in the evening, 10 minutes, review the words again. This time, try writing a short paragraph or story using them. It could be funny, personal, anything you like.
And don't forget to check if you remember the meaning without looking. If you forget one, no problem. Just add it to tomorrow's list again.
That's the beauty of a routine. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Small steps every day are much better than big steps once a week.
Also, try to connect new words to your weekly experiences. If you're going to a birthday party, learn words like celebrate, invitation, decorate, things you'll actually use.
Yes, the closer the word is to your real life, the more your brain wants to keep it.
And don't worry if you're busy. Even if you only have 10 minutes a day, that's enough. But those 10 minutes should be active, not just reading, speak, write, use.
Exactly. It's not about time. It's about energy and focus. Be present with the words, and they'll stay with you longer. And
And if you ever feel stuck, don't be afraid to go back and review older words. Reviewing is not going backward, it's making the foundation stronger.
so true. In the final part, we'll wrap everything up and share some motivation for anyone who feels like they're forgetting too much too fast.
Trust me, you're not alone. We've all been there, and we'll help you through it. Part 6. We've reached the final part of this conversation, and honestly, I think this is the most important one because a lot of learners feel frustrated. They try, they study, but still, the words just don't stay.
Yes, and I have seen so many students get discouraged. They say, maybe I'm just bad at languages or my memory is weak. But the truth is, you're not the problem. Your method is.
Exactly. Learning a language is not just about talent, it's about habits, emotions, and how you treat yourself during the process.
Let me tell you something I always say to my students. You don't need to remember every word. You just need to remember enough to keep going.
That's so important because sometimes we forget that forgetting is normal. Even native speakers forget words. Even teachers like us forget words.
Totally. I sometimes forget English words while speaking on stage. It happens. The difference is, I don't panic. I pause, find another way to say it, and keep going.
And that's what learners need to do too. Stay calm. If you forget a word, don't feel ashamed. Just think, okay, how can I describe it differently?
That flexibility is real fluency. Fluency isn't knowing every word. It's knowing how to keep the conversation going, even when a word disappears.
So if you're listening right now and feeling discouraged, don't give up. You are learning. Even forgetting is part of learning.
Yes. And every time you review, try again or say the word one more time. You're building something stronger.
And remember, you're not alone. Every learner faces this. We face this too. The only difference is we didn't quit.
So be kind to yourself. Be patient. Use the tips we shared, spaced repetition, using your own sentences, daily routines, reviewing before bed, and most importantly, make it personal.
Make English a part of your life, not just something you study, something you live.
And that's how you stop forgetting and start growing.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the English Power Podcast. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's learning English too.
We'll see you in the next episode with more tips, stories, and real conversations to help you grow your English power every single day.
Bye for now and keep going. You're doing better than you think.